Dirt, you said some Quake takes. I got audio from last night's association stuff. You said you have some Quake takes, basketball related.
I have an NBA Quake take.
You only have one?
Only one Quake take
I thought
today.
you teased multiple takes.
No, I mean, the take might turn into multiple
takes.
takes.
Might be aftershocks from...
Because it's like there's a ripple effect
It's a
here.
massive Quake take. Could be a 5.0.
I think Devin Booker is one of the more overrated players in the NBA.
God, that's a bad take.
Dude was nothing until they got Chris Paul. They go to the finals. He was put on this pedestal of one of the best players in the league. They haven't been back since. He's been teamed up with elite players the last 4 years. He's a high-volume scorer that does nothing else to impact the game. He's not a leader, and his team's about to get swept out of the first round of the playoffs. Dude is overrated, and I'm tired of him going for 70 in the regular season and pretending like Devin Booker's one of these all-time great scorers. Get the hell out of here. He's almost 30 years old.
Would you want him in Portland?
No, I don't want him.
Oh, God.
I don't want him. I mean, of course I would now. Our team sucks. He's better than anybody on our roster. That doesn't say much. Is he better than the Charlotte Hornets? Is that the barrier you're trying to break here?
Swag, what does the Richter scale say of that Quake take? Devin Booker, what did you say?
He's one of the more overrated players in the NBA.
Okay. Is this a 6? Is this a 7?
No. Buildings aren't coming down.
Wow.
You agree with me a little bit here.
We're in the 4.5 to 5
If we're 4.5, that's not a big take. Swigard's agreeing.
You feel it. It's more than a minor tremor aftershock.
It's a New York earthquake.
Yeah.
A bottle of wine broke.
Our chairs fell over.
Yeah, some things are falling off the shelf, but glass windows aren't being broken. Buildings aren't crumbling.
Okay.
We hold everybody to the standard of what have you won? This guy has been teamed up with...
He's been to a finals.
He has. When he got teamed up with elite players, they lost in the finals. Then he got teamed up with Kevin Durant, and they're going to get swept in the first round of the playoffs.
So you view the situation of him, whereas I view it of kind of Kevin Durant.
Why is it not on Devin Booker? Why do we not blame Devin Booker? If we're going to make fun of Kevin Durant for getting swept in the first round, why do we not do that to Devin Booker? What did he do last night?
Well, look, he has
down 1-0 in the series, big game. He was no-show.
He's largely not done anything in the series in 2 games. But the start of his career, he has to be on just an awful organization. The owner's leaving goat crap in the general manager's office because he hates him.
I think that's called motivation, Bob.
Well, neither one of those people are there anymore, including the owner who put the goat crap in the office. The other one's an Odyssey NBA insider. So,
friend of the program, by the way.
But you have to take into account where you get picked, right? What organization? We talk about NFL quarterbacks. Why do guys succeed and not succeed? Some guys just never going to be good. Other guys succeed because they go to perfect situations. He had to go to that.
He did.
He had to go to Phoenix.
I don't blame him.
At the bottom of the gutter.
I don't blame him for the first 4 years. First 4 years are off limits.
Okay.
I don't blame him for that.
And then they finally get him some talent. They get DeAndre Ayton. They go and get Chris Paul. They go to a finals. Going to a finals, we cannot just highlight, well, he couldn't win the finals or he lost the championship. It has to matter that you can get to a finals. It's so hard to get to a finals.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying how close is he to getting to another one? Because they're not going to one anytime soon.
He's within the top 6 of the Western Conference. I mean, this series, to me, I think it's over. But it's not over yet. Can we at least let him try to defend home court first?
No, I'm not letting him get
What if
there.
they win 2 and they tie the series?
I'm not letting him get there.
And they look good doing it. What is the Quake take then?
I don't trust Phoenix as far as I could throw him.
I don't
He's
either.
Shooting 25% from 3. He's been non-existent through 2 games. And Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves have punked them the first 2 games of the series.
Well, he talked about the frustration within his team in the postgame last night.
Yeah, my frustration is just, within the team. We need to execute. We play well when we're playing well, and then we need to stick together once things turn bad. And like I said, we've done that throughout the season, so it's something that has to be corrected.
I will acknowledge, while I don't agree fully with the Quake take, I like the boldness of the take.
I just find it hilarious that
I've been disappointed in him for sure. I've seen that dude, even in losses like last year. I've seen him play him and it's not him.
No.
That's certainly not something I'm worried about. It's how do I fill in all the other stuff? Now, the problem is they traded all these picks for KD, so they have no future picks. I believe, if I heard correctly, they're in the second apron. So, financially...
Oh, they definitely are. With the Beal contract added to it, of course they are.
They're absolutely screwed financially. The only thing they can do on this roster to change anything is trade.
Yeah.
That is all of their options. And, oh, by the way, stealth thing that flew under the radar that nobody talked about, they're kind of being shadow run by Isaiah Thomas, the guy who got hit with sexual harassment at the Knicks because he's on the board of Ishbia's company helping advise them because, Isaiah Thomas knows so much about mortgage lending. And it's like, that's not good.
I want to know Isaiah Thomas takes on interest rates. I think my take
They're
is
too high. They're
my take is largely coming from, I hate how we treat different players differently. And just by that, I mean, I don't know if Phoenix is going to get swept. Tongue in cheek, I do think Minnesota's going to win the series. Will it be in 4, 5, 6, or 7? I don't know. I think Minnesota's going to win the series. They're the better team. They're the more complete team. What's the reaction to Kevin Durant if they lose in 5 in the first round of the playoffs? What's the national narrative around Kevin Durant? What is everybody saying about Kevin Durant?
Well, this is the problem. Kevin Durant is of people when he was with Golden State wanted to put him at the same stature as LeBron.
And that was dumb.
And then he left it. He went to Brooklyn.
Right.
And they got swept, I believe, in the first round of one of his seasons there. Yeah. And I feel like I heard
he came a millimeter away from beating the Bucks the year they won, but that was
we love to highlight his close loss, but we don't want to talk about how he got swept out in the prime of his career. Now you can say, well, post-injury, he was still averaging like 30 points a game.
Yeah.
He was still top end. And we did not say anything about that. But LeBron is going to lose in round 1, maybe by the sweep of Jokic, and it's going to be the top ESPN story for 2 days.
Look, I agree with everything that you're saying there. Kevin Durant does need to be held to a higher standard. I'm just arguing so does Devin Booker. Like, if we're going to sit here and act like this guy's one of the best players in the league, which I think is probably a wide-held opinion.
Pretty widely
He's
held,
had 70-point games. He's averaged nearly 30 a game for a couple of years in a row. To your point, he's been to an NBA Finals. It's hilarious to me that if they lose in the first round and they get swept in embarrassing fashion, which I think there's a chance could happen, Kevin Durant is going to be mocked endlessly for that. Endlessly. Like,
I don't think he will.
Well, he should. He will be on this show.
It'll be about, is Kevin Durant going to ask for a trade now to go to a different team?
And we're all going to make fun of him for that because he's going to go jump to Minnesota. Those tweets were already out there last night. My next journey. And it was him standing in front of a Timberwolves logo or the white shirt with the Timberwolves logo on it. Where you're talking about him going to OKC. Like, we're going to make fun of him for that. Devin Booker's supposed to be one of the best players in the playoffs, and he's just going to skate. We're just going to forget about him and not mention the fact that he also got swept in the first round of the playoffs. He's a volume scorer that does nothing else to impact the game.
The problem with the take is everybody can see the situation, and while there certainly is expectation, they were a trendy pick to win round 1 by a lot, and I'm like, it's because they beat Minnesota 3 times in the regular season, so we took that instead of saying, hey, how did the year go for both of the teams?
How do they actually match up? Who was playing in those games when they played?
Yeah, Minnesota's pretty good this year. Yep. I don't know if you followed it, but I know most people didn't because it's the regular season NBA. The thing with Devin is you can look at that roster, and it's not meant as an out for him. I've, again, been disappointed by his performance. I also think Minnesota's done a lot to throw multiple bodies at him because, well, who else beats him?
Bradley Beal ain't doing it right now.
Grayson Allen's injured now.
Yeah.
It ain't Bradley Beal. Yusuf Nurkic certainly is not doing anything offensively. Who is it? This is the only reason I could not mentally grasp the why you take Phoenix over Minnesota stuff.
Yeah.
Who on Phoenix, if Booker's getting 2 at him, who's beating you?
I mean, it should be Kevin Durant.
Okay, but it's not. So who is it?
They got nobody else.
Okay, so it seems like it's not, to me, a Booker problem. It feels like it's a roster construction problem, and they gave up all of the assets because they wanted multiple Blazers from garbage-ass seasons, and they wanted Bradley Beal. Seems like pretty flawed roster construction to me.
They got the Shaq of Troutdale. That should be enough, first off. A lot of this does come from the little brother syndrome of Portland and the way Damian Lillard was talked about. And this pushed idea that Devin Booker was somehow better than him or deserved more recognition than him because he got to a finals, when the reality was he was just on a better team. They put a better group around him than Lillard ever had, and that helped benefit. Booker was great, and he's been good at times. He was really good last year in the playoffs too, but he's always had more talent around him, and that's been my larger frustration.